Yeah, I got a cheesy Halloween fucking set decoration now. Anyway. Yeah. Well, I don't even know how to start this fucking week, to be honest with you, because so much fucking retarded fucking bullshit has happened. Um, I don't want to go into it, but anyway, it's it's Dario Argento's birthday this week, I think, and Paul Naschy's birthday this week, and someone informed me of that. And I was trying to think, how many of these movies did I actually see in the theaters? Um, Naschy, I think it was only Frankenstein's Bloody Terror, that retitled one. That I think, I don't know, Hell Creatures or Hombre Lobo or something. I don't know. 68. I know that Sam Sherman picked it up to throw on the double bill with Dracula versus Frankenstein because he had promised distributors a Frankenstein double feature. So he did a fucking pre-credit sequence that said, these were the Wolfsteins that turned into werewolves or some fucking shit. I don't know. But anyway, um, uncut, it's a good film. The Independent International thing's a little banged up. Basically Paul Naschy was probably Spain's Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff, and Bela Lugosi all wrapped into one because he played all kinds of monsters and creatures and things, especially Waldemar Dansky, the Polish werewolf. So that was the only one I can think of that was released here. Maybe Werewolf versus the Vampire Women. It's just weird. I don't remember any other one of his playing here in my atmosphere than Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. A lot of his stuff went right over here to video, like I said in that other thing, like Inquisition. What the fuck was the other one? The Hanging Women, aka Beyond the Living Dead, or some shit like that. Bunch of his stuff just went right to that video label. A lot of the witchcraft stuff and the heavy duty torture stuff. So as far as I know, it didn't get any theatrical play over here. Argento, he got play up until a certain point, which was strange too, because I think the first one was Bird with the Crystal Plumage. And this was right around when I started going to drive-ins. And for Argento's stuff and those giallos in general, you sort of got to pay close attention to things. And, when you're sitting there drinking and smoking and watching, waiting for something to happen, you weren't really paying close attention. You were fucking around. So I didn't appreciate it then as much as I appreciate it now. And it was like the same thing with Deep Red. Deep Red came out right around the time, I don't know, I think it was fucking Jaws or something. And nobody knew what to make of it. That was another weird, slasher type fucking thing. But the crowning one that hit the States was Suspiria. And we didn't go to 42nd Street to see Suspiria. I think Suspiria was out in the dead of winter. And this was the first time I smoked hash. So obviously I wasn't driving to New York. So we went to the Totowa Cinema in, I believe it was, Totowa, New Jersey or West Paterson, somewhere along those lines. And they had a really, really good sound system. And when you're all fucked up on some kind of weird-ass drug that you never took before, and you see Suspiria, well, shit happens, especially that part when those eyes appeared outside the window and the hands crash in and grab her and the fucking knife to the heart and shit, and it goes on and on and on. We're like, oh, fuck, Jesus Christ, what the fuck did we get ourselves into? And like I said, they had a really great sound system because they ran Earthquake there with the surround sound shit. So, but yes, Suspiria knocked it out of the fucking park. What was the only thing more terrifying than the first 78 minutes of this film is the last 13 or some shit like that. And they were right. This shit came out of nowhere. But that seemed to have been it. It's like the subsequent ones, like Inferno, Tiembre. The only other one I think got a theatrical one was Phenomenon, which was cut like 20 minutes and released here as Creepers with Donald Pleasance. So that was the only other one I can think of that actually got a theatrical over here. Otherwise, it was basically, I remember Inferno being on Key Video. Of course, they all wound up on Anchor Bay. DVD and video at that point. But I think Creepers was the last one. I honestly don't know if any of his other stuff got theatrical. And you know, when you were hitting, you know, the end of the 80s and shit like that, you were getting a lot of the, you know, Italian import stuff over there to, you know, fill in the grindhouses. But I'm just drawing a blank as far as after Creepers, was there anything else that was released there? But, you know, one thing about Argento, his stuff was just so stylish, and it's like, you know, you could just flick the damn thing on and go, oh, that's an Argento film. Especially when Inferno was really fucking good, you know, the underwater stuff and things. Just really good. It's just a shame it didn't get a wider release over here. But, you know, the exploiters or the distributors really probably couldn't find a niche to put it in. So, happy birthday to the two of them. There's going to be a video airing on September 10th, which is the day before 9/11, which I've already pre-recorded, and I'm going off on a bunch of shit. You might want to skip it if my politics bother you, because, you know, I consider myself, you know, a survivor of 9/11 for whatever, but the video explains it. I'm just saying some people don't like when I do this, so you might want to back off from watching that if that, you know, bugs you that much. A lot of things bug me lately, but I'm trying to keep my mouth shut. So I'm trying to figure out what to do for the Halloween thing, even though I hung this shitty little piece of cloth behind me. Actually, a whole front of my house is decorated and ready to go. All the lights and shit and everything else. I'll do a little tour of that when I figure out what I'm going to fucking do. Because you know, how many years have I been doing this? 3 maybe, or 4? I don't know. I try to do something different every Halloween. Once I was doing this whole, you know, 3 movies a fucking day thing or something. I don't want to go over the same fucking ground because, you know, it is what it is. I'm just trying to think of something maybe I ain't done yet or maybe needs to be done. So I still give it some thought. So somebody goes, why don't you use movies that were actually done with Halloween as a backdrop? And I said, well, be honest with you, because a lot of them fucking suck. But that's my opinion. But I'll figure out something. So thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. Above all, stay safe. And we'll catch you on the flip side.